right? I know. And so
speaking into existence.
That's why I'm not touching Prizm. And actually, you know why I'm not touching Prizm? I'm going to give you a perfect example. It's going to lead us right into our next segment. WWE Prizm. You can get those hobby boxes for $400 a box.
Are they really that low now?
$400. Yeah. So
I remember when we were in Boston, and I got up there and I was like, you know what? I love wrestling and WWE, and so I was really excited about the product, but I hadn't opened any. And so we got to Boston, and I walked around that show, and I found one dealer with those boxes. Now, Ron Durkee was up there, and he was trying to buy every box he could get his hands on. Him and a guy was sitting out there in the lobby doing live streams on breaks. But I found one guy. He wanted $1,600 a box, and which I think that was probably about the going rate at that time. And I was like, I just can't bring myself to pay $1,600 a box for this wrestling stuff. So I waited, and we went to New York the next weekend, and there was a dealer set up in front of us, and he was like, it's $1,100. And I was like, well, man, that's $500 cheaper than it was last week. I'm going to open a box. But now it's even almost a third of that.
It's crazy. So, I mean, think about that. You could have gotten a quarter case for the original $1,600.
What, did somebody pull the 101 Undertaker or something out of it that caused the product to drop? Or, I mean.
And I actually have seen in terms of just, I don't know that that's necessarily a long-term hold product, but there have been some pretty good sales for singles from the product for some of the bigger cards. But yeah, that is a prime example of why I will not be touching Prizm basketball, at least for a while. Probably not until next basketball season.
I can't believe with the Prizm football that even not only Prizm football, but the flawless football, I am surprised that the two biggest cards out of each one of those was hit on release day.
Crazy.
I mean, the 101 Mac out of the Finite and the
Flawless.
Shield out of Flawless hit on release day. And which that's great because it makes the product come down.
Yep.
So it's not ridiculously high. But I just look back at like that triple logo, man.
It took forever.
That it was like they were just they knew what box it was in. We're just going to hold it until the prices of it goes through the roof. And okay, now we'll release it.
Yep.
That's almost what it felt like. Just because I know how many breakers there are out there, and I know how many people were in the hobby breaking wax to try to get that card.
Right.
And then for it to
magically
appear.
it
just dodged everybody for the longest time. So,
right. It was wait a second here.
But yeah, I mean, I can't believe that those two big cards dropped on the first one. So that should bring the box prices down somewhat. But I mean, on the same note, the reason box prices stay up is because the breakers and being able to split it up, and
Correct.
it's and that's another business of its own, which is great. I mean, not to take any jabs there. I think that's still great. But
Absolutely.
It keeps the prices in the hobby sustainable on the card market.
Something that Grayson and I spoke about last weekend, our last podcast, was that kind of how breaks kind of control the price of the wax, as you said just now, but it's also a really good way to put single cards out onto the market that may not ever be broken, right? Like those super high-end cards that if somebody's not going to willing to pay $50,000, but 10 people are willing to pay $5,000, well, then that, it's going to put those more cards out onto the market in singles as well.
Yeah, faster. And so, correct. I saw somebody posted this morning, somebody just in 2018 was when Josh Allen was a rookie.
Yep.
Somebody just now hit the 1/1 Contenders auto out of that.
Yeah.
They just hit it in a break. So it's been sitting in a box since 2018, but the prices of that stuff shot up so high that nobody wanted to jump in on those breaks.
Right.
Because the product price was so high. So it's just been sitting there.
Right.
And now it's been pulled.
And so kind of along those same lines, Contenders Optic 2021 just came out today, and I know for a fact that the Mac Jones Shield Auto RPA, which is a new addition to the Contenders Optic this year, has already been pulled.
It's been pulled already?
Been pulled the first hour of release day. That's been all over social media today. So there's another one. Mac Jones Shields flying left and right.